Most dating advice focuses on surface-level attraction triggers: looks, money, status, charisma. But there's a deeper level of attraction that operates beneath conscious awareness. And Sigma males naturally possess traits that activate these hidden triggers. Today, we're exploring 3 unusual traits that secretly make Sigma males magnetically attractive. These aren't things you can fake or perform. They're authentic qualities that create unconscious attraction in ways that bypass rational thought. By the end of this video, you'll understand why women are drawn to you, even when you're not trying to attract them at all. But before we dive in, if you want access to the full, uncensored breakdown of Sigma psychology that I can't share publicly, join the members-only room. Inside, you'll get advanced strategies, private case studies, and tactics that YouTube would flag if I posted them here. This is where the real transformation happens. The content in there has helped thousands of men unlock their full potential, and it's only for those serious about mastering their Sigma nature. Click the join button below or check the link in the description. Trust me, what you'll learn inside will be worth every penny. Now, let's get into these 3 unusual traits. 1. Your comfortable relationship with silence. Most men are terrified of conversational silence. They fill every pause with words, jokes, or questions. But you're completely comfortable letting silence exist. Ever been told you're too quiet or that you need to open up more? Here's the brutal truth society won't tell you. Your comfort with silence is one of your most powerfully attractive traits. Here's why this creates attraction. In a world where everyone is desperately filling air with noise, your selective silence creates psychological space that people aren't used to experiencing. This space does something remarkable. It makes people think rather than just react. The specific ways this manifests: you don't feel obligated to respond to every statement. You pause before speaking, processing what was actually said. You can sit with someone in complete silence without discomfort. You don't use words to manage other people's emotions. You let awkward moments exist without rushing to resolve them. What women experience when around you. While other men are performing verbally to maintain attention, you're creating anticipation through strategic quiet. Every time you speak becomes an event rather than background noise. The psychological mechanism: silence creates information scarcity. When you don't constantly broadcast your thoughts, feelings, and reactions, people become obsessed with accessing your internal world. Your quietness isn't absence, it's mystery. Most people don't realize this, but your comfort with silence forces others to become more interesting to fill the space. Women who are normally passive in conversations suddenly become more engaged, trying to earn your verbal participation. Here's what makes this specifically attractive to high-quality women. Confident, intelligent women are exhausted by men who need constant verbal validation. Your silence signals that you're not seeking approval, not managing their emotions, and not desperate for connection. The counterintuitive truth: while other men lose opportunities by talking too much, you create intrigue by saying less. Your words carry weight because they're scarce, and scarcity creates value. But here's the deeper layer. Your comfort with silence also signals emotional self-sufficiency. You don't need conversation to feel comfortable with yourself or to manage anxiety. This inner peace is extremely rare and therefore extremely attractive. The paradox that creates magnetic pull. The less you talk, the more people want to talk to you. Your silence creates a vacuum that others feel compelled to fill, putting you in a position of unconscious power in every interaction. 2. Your total indifference to social validation. Most men are approval-seeking machines. They dress for attention, speak for recognition, and make choices based on how others will perceive them. But you? You genuinely don't care what most people think. Ever been criticized for being aloof, distant, or hard to impress? Here's what nobody's telling you. Your authentic indifference to social approval is psychological catnip to women who are drowning in male attention. Here's why this creates attraction. Every woman above a certain attractiveness level is constantly approached by men seeking her validation. But you're the guy who doesn't change his behavior when she walks in the room. This is unprecedented in her experience. The specific ways this manifests. You don't alter your demeanor around attractive women. You're not impressed by status symbols, titles, or social positioning. You make decisions based on personal values, not social acceptance. You don't compete for attention or recognition in groups. You treat everyone with the same baseline respect, regardless of their social value. What women experience when around you. For the first time in her life, she encounters a man whose interest, or lack thereof, can't be bought with her looks, status, or social performance. This is deeply disorienting, and therefore deeply intriguing. The psychological mechanism. Humans are hardwired to crave what they can't easily obtain. Your genuine indifference creates psychological scarcity around your attention and approval. When everyone wants something from her, but you seem to need nothing, you become the prize. Most people don't see this coming, but your indifference actually makes women work harder for your attention than they would for men who are obviously interested. This inverts the typical power dynamic in a way that's both refreshing and addictive for high-value women. Here's what makes this specifically attractive. Your indifference proves your abundance mentality. You're not desperately clinging to one opportunity because you're confident that opportunities exist. This confidence is palpable even when you're not consciously projecting it. The counterintuitive truth. While other men are chasing, you're selecting. This positions you as the chooser rather than the chosen. Women who are used to being pursued suddenly find themselves in the unfamiliar position of wanting to be chosen by you. But here's the deeper layer. Your indifference to validation means your interest, when you do show it, is authentic. Women sense that you're not interested in them because you need validation. You're interested because you genuinely choose them. This makes your attention infinitely more valuable. The paradox that creates magnetic pull. The less you need her approval, the more she craves yours. Your self-contained validation system creates a gravitational pull toward you, as women unconsciously try to become the exception to your indifference. The nuclear element? This trait also protects you from manipulation. Women who are used to controlling men through approval-disapproval games find their tactics completely ineffective on you. This combination of resistance and authenticity is devastatingly attractive. 3. Your ability to be completely content alone. Most men use relationships and social interaction to escape themselves. They can't stand being alone with their own thoughts. But you? You've mastered solitude to the point where you genuinely enjoy your own company. Ever been accused of being too independent or not needing anyone? Here's the truth that will blow your mind. Your genuine contentment with solitude is the ultimate attraction trigger for psychologically mature women. Here's why this creates attraction. When someone chooses to be with you despite not needing you, that choice carries profound weight. You're not with someone because you're lonely, bored, or incomplete. You're with them because they add value to an already satisfying life. The specific ways this manifests. You have hobbies, projects, and interests that fulfill you completely. You don't reach out to people out of loneliness or boredom. You can go days or weeks without social contact and feel perfectly fine. You never make desperate decisions from a place of isolation anxiety. You choose relationships rather than needing them. what women experience when around you. She realizes that you don't need her to feel complete, which means any relationship with you would be based on genuine desire rather than emotional dependency. This is both terrifying and liberating for women who are used to being needed. The psychological mechanism: neediness repels, abundance attracts. When you demonstrate that you're genuinely satisfied with your own company, it signals that your life is valuable enough to be satisfying on its own. Women want access to that life rather than feeling responsible for creating your happiness. Most people don't realize this, but your contentment with solitude actually makes you more attractive in relationships, not less. You don't drain your partner's energy with constant needs for reassurance, attention, or entertainment. You're self-sustaining. Here's what makes this specifically attractive to high-quality women. Mature women are exhausted by emotionally needy men. They want partners who can stand alone, so they can come together as equals rather than creating codependent dynamics where she becomes his emotional life support. The counterintuitive truth: while other men are texting constantly, checking in, and seeking reassurance, your comfortable silence and independence create space for genuine longing to develop. Absence doesn't just make the heart grow fonder. Your specific type of absence makes the heart grow obsessed. But here's the deeper layer. Your solitude isn't avoidance, it's cultivation. You use your alone time to develop skills, pursue goals, and become more interesting. When you do show up in someone's life, you're bringing value accumulated during your solitude, rather than neediness accumulated from loneliness. The paradox that creates magnetic pull. The less you need someone, the more they want to be needed by you. Your independence creates a challenge for women who are used to men being easily captured. You become the one relationship that feels like an achievement rather than just another option. The nuclear element. This trait completely reverses typical relationship dynamics. Instead of you pursuing her and hoping she'll choose you, she finds herself pursuing your attention and hoping you'll choose her. This inversion creates profound attraction that most men never experience. The ultimate truth: your contentment with solitude proves you don't need relationships to escape yourself. You're comfortable with who you are. This self-acceptance is the foundation of authentic confidence, and authentic confidence is the ultimate aphrodisiac. Ever notice what these unusual traits have in common? They all demonstrate outcome independence and authentic self-sufficiency. Your comfort with silence shows you don't need verbal validation. Your indifference to social approval shows you don't need external validation. Your contentment with solitude shows you don't need emotional validation from others. Here's the meta pattern. Every trait that society tells you to fix is actually proof that you don't operate from scarcity or neediness. You operate from abundance and self-containment. Most people don't see this coming, but these three traits work synergistically to create compound attraction effects. Your silence makes them curious. Your indifference makes them invested. Your independence makes them obsessed. The deeper truth: these traits aren't just attractive qualities. They're screening mechanisms. They repel women who need constant validation and emotional management, while attracting women who value authenticity, independence, and genuine connection. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Society wants you to suppress these traits because they give you too much power in relationships and social dynamics. When you're comfortable with silence, you can't be controlled through social pressure. When you're indifferent to validation, you can't be manipulated through approval, disapproval. When you're content alone, you can't be trapped through fear of isolation. These traits make you ungovernable. And ungovernable men are dangerous to systems that depend on male compliance and predictability. But here's what they don't tell you. The women worth having, the ones with genuine confidence, emotional maturity, and psychological depth, are attracted to ungovernable men. They don't want someone they can easily control. They want someone who chooses them freely from a place of strength. Here's what you need to understand. You can't fake these traits. Either you genuinely embody them or you don't. But if you naturally possess them, here's how to stop apologizing for them. Stop filling silence to make others comfortable. Let the pauses exist. Trust that your selective speech carries more weight than constant chatter. Stop seeking approval from people who don't matter. Let your indifference be authentic, not performed. The right people will recognize your self-validation as strength. Stop apologizing for your independence. Your contentment with solitude isn't antisocial. It's evidence of a rich internal world. Own it completely. The key insight: these traits are most attractive when they're authentic rather than strategic. You're not being quiet to create mystery. You're quiet because you have nothing to say. You're not indifferent to manipulate. You're indifferent because you genuinely don't need validation. You're not alone to play hard to get. You're alone because you enjoy your own company. This authenticity is what makes these traits irresistible. If you've been trying to fix these flaws your entire life, stop. What you thought was holding you back is actually what sets you apart. Your unusual traits aren't bugs. They're features that attract high-quality people while repelling time wasters. The question isn't whether you should change these traits. It's whether you'll finally embrace them as your greatest assets. You don't need to become more social, more approval-seeking, or more dependent. You need to double down on the very traits that make you different. Those differences aren't problems. They're advantages disguised as quirks. Trust what makes you unusual. It's making you unforgettable. If this video changed how you see your unusual traits, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below with the word unusual and tell me which of these 3 traits you possess most strongly. And if this video gave you permission to stop apologizing for being different, smash that like button and subscribe for more insights into why your Sigma traits are actually strategic advantages in disguise. Remember, you're not broken different. You're powerful different. There's a massive distinction. Until next time, embrace your unusual.